Hey guys, welcome back to another Protein Bros episode. Today we had Marcus and Montay on from Elevated Fitness. They're a brand new gym in the Waldo, South Kansas City area. They opened up just last fall. These guys are phenomenal coaches and trainers. They have been doing this for 20 years combined before they've opened their own spot. They started off as just part-time trainers at big box gyms, and they've worked their way all the way up to having their own gym. We talk about a lot of the trials, tribulations, and then the biggest thing is some really great character traits that these two possess that are hard to find in fitness, and it's going to be no secret as to why they're successful just from hearing them speak. Their humility comes through in everything that they're doing, but they also have extremely high standards for not only themselves but how they train. So lean into this podcast. If you were somebody who is wanting to make fitness a career, these are very strong character trait guys that you should be leaning into and listening to. If you guys aren't already, please subscribe to the podcast. That's how we get any kind of support. If you want to support us, we try to support our local fitness community. And if you guys are a fan of local fitness, we'd appreciate any kind of support. Like, subscribe, share, and then comment what you think of the episode below. Without further ado, let's get to the episode. I have so much respect for the grind.
It's definitely a grind. Like, it's day by day. Like, I talk to him all the time about like them 5 a.m. workouts or 5 a.m. days. They add up eventually. You know, we do them for a reason. So,
and dude, to be present at 5 a.m., right? To be intentional at 5 a.m., not just showing up. The amount of trainers that are just like trying to wake up and drinking their coffee during that 5 a.m. session, right?
Yep.
You had to grow through that, right?
It's worth it. I mean, it's a struggle. I mean, it's a grind, like you said. But at the same time, we're doing it for a good reason and doing it for a good cause, and it lead to something better. So,
tell me how you guys got your start as far as going from transitioning into fitness as a career, and then when did you know that you could do it all the way as a career?
So like I finished a year before him at Northwest, so I got back to Kansas City, needed a job. My dad's like, hey, you need to do something. So actually just got an application at 24 one day because I needed a gym membership. So hey, be a trainer while I'm getting a gym membership for free. Got hired like 2 weeks later, then started my gym trainer career. Didn't think it'd be much more than that. Just at the time, just something to do. Just kind of spend.
You're real young at this time,
just
right?
Kind of have fun with it, but also something I love doing. But then just meeting new people, helping people out, just kind of seeing how I changed lives, kind of add a fuel to the fire, keeping me going into it. Then over time, like I said, just kind of growing with my process of things, growing with my career and how I do things. I found a more love as far as reaching out to the community, doing things that meeting people I never would meet, and just opened up my horizon as far as people, like I said, people I've never met before and stuff. So,
Montay, I'm glad you said the first part of that, because the amount of people that we meet that are like, man, I really want to change people's lives. Man, I really want to make a difference and stuff. And these guys are, guys and girls, 22, 23, 24 years old. Yeah. And it's like, man, I feel like they're saying that because it's an interview or something. I'm like, man, when I was 22, 23, 24, I was just thinking about growing as my career. Like, I was trying to make more money.
Yeah. Did you have somebody in your life that maybe had a job that they hated? Or where did that come from?
Not necessarily hated, just people like get up every day. It's like a struggle to get up and go to work. I knew I wanted to do something I love doing.
Yeah. You're passionate about
like I work less than I probably do about 60 hours a week now. But back then I was probably doing close to 80 hours a week training and stuff. So it was like, if I'm going to do something, I want to love doing it because it's going to be a grind. Like I said, to get your name out there and kind of network and stuff. So I wanted to make sure if I put time into something, it's something I love doing. I don't mind doing it. Like you say, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life kind of thing. So that's my whole mentality.
But it felt like a lot of trainers just don't understand like what you're saying as far as the grind goes, especially. So there's two different types, and please correct me if I'm wrong here. Like, edit anything you want to say. But when it comes to getting started at like a big box gym, if you will, for the lack of a better word, that's where you were at 24 at the time. I think gyms that consider that now, you'd be looking at like a Chiefs Fit or Genesis. These are gyms that are here in town that are going to hopefully bring you in a lot of leads, right, for clients. And they don't a lot of new trainers don't understand like how hard and how much effort and how many conversations you got to have before someone's signing up with you.
It's hard to maintain clientele at those big gyms because people come in and out. Prices can be very high for far as what they're getting. So it's hard to kind of maintain and keep a good clientele base. So you got to keep networking as far as meeting people and kind of bringing people in. You don't have much give as far as what you can do and kind of manipulate things. You got to kind of stick to what what their prices and everything are, and it's kind of hard to maintain that for a long period of time. So you got a lot of turnover as far as your clientele base.
Marcus, what was your first gym? Yeah.
My first gym was it was Powerhouse KC, and Gary Taylor and J.R. Hicks. They were kind of the owners of that. I started over there, kind of like filling in for them when they didn't have time to train, or they just throw me into the fire. And then from there, I went to Planet Fitness, and everybody knows Planet Fitness is a little cookie cutter. And I was there. You
were the only trainer at Planet Fitness then, right?
Yeah, basically.
So, like, for our listeners, just because they don't understand the difference, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but Planet Fitness has usually one trainer that's on staff at all times. Right. And if you have questions or whatnot, you can make an appointment with the trainer.
Right.
And they're going to give you more or less like a sheet of machines to use.
Right. It's really cookie cutter. So what I did was, it was a good way for me to gain experience with talking to people, getting comfortable, speaking out loud, and going up to people randomly, getting clients or whatever to do the classes and things like that. But from there, I put my own twist to it. So I started training under the table a little bit. Felt like I had to because I had a little bit of experience. We did an internship, me and him, under our strength and conditioning coach, Joe Quinlan at Northwest. And like I said, I was with Gary and JR, so I kind of knew what I was doing. We have a degree in it as well. So I just built that confidence, and I started to go to people like, hey, if you want this, then, this is what it's going to be. And then people were interested, and it worked out. Mm-hmm. And then from there, I had aspirations of being what is it called? Goodness, got a brain fart.
Strength and conditioning coach?
No.
PT, physical therapist?
PT, yes, physical therapist. Mm-hmm. So I was going back to school. I had a son. My son was on the way. So I started to take JUCO classes because some of my prereqs didn't qualify for grad school. So I had to go all the way back and take them, but it became too much. So from there, I was a rehab tech at KU. And this is the way I could learn a little bit of rehab stuff as I was taking classes. So from there, I just didn't like how the medical industry was moving. I think it's a little off.
What makes it off to you?
I think it's off because you have these people in the medical that's sick, where they rehabbing, and they're still drinking Dr. Pepper and pizza. People bringing them church's chicken and all that kind of stuff. The doctor's giving it to them, giving them little snacks, whatever they want.
You just came from free bagel pizza and Tootsie Roll land before that too.
Right,
you know
exactly,
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So like, man, like where do I got to go where people actually value health?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, something is a little off about that, man. And I don't think I want to be associated with it.
Sure.
So
I think that's American culture in general, though.
Right.
It just bleeds into the medical field.
Right.
It's like, it's just kind of like eating well. When there's a meme online where they talk about like, whenever you're eating good quality food in front of somebody else, they're always like, what, do you on a diet or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, no, this is actually just good food. Yeah. This is what you should be eating all the time. You just eat like shit all the time.
I just thought, in my opinion, I thought it was just breaking them down even more.
Yeah.
Because me
definitely causing more inflammation.
Right.
Not helping.
With me assisting the physical therapist, I would see these people, some of them won't progress. And I'm like,
and they wonder why.
Right, they wonder why. And it's like, if you do the steps to better your overall health, starting by eating the right things while you're in the bed and can't move, things will progress a lot faster. Of course, we do this every day. So I can just tell a client's the difference in a client when they change up their diet, how much energy they have, how they're moving,
Definitely.
all of that kind of stuff. So I was looking at it the same way when I was at KU, and I just kind of got uncomfortable. And from there, I decided to go independent.
Mm-hmm.
When you went independent, where were you training there? Powerhouse, is that right?
So when I went independent, I guess I could take it back. I was at Superior Fit Body.
That's where that's where I was at. Yep.
I was a rehab tech and a personal trainer. So I'm working all day. Like literally, I would train early mornings, and then I would go be a rehab tech, and then I would train at night and different stuff like that. But it was just too much. So I'm like, shoot, I'm good at this. Let's go ahead and just throw in the towel and take a bet on myself. So
man, there's so much we can unpack there, but I want to go back to something you were saying earlier, Montay, and that was you guys were both in a situation where you had to network, and that's like I think that these are all like terms that are loose that people, they have their own definitions of them, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think the biggest misconception out there with anybody personal training, especially when they're coming out of school, is they don't want to do sales.
Yeah.
They say like,
I
I
was
don't
the
want,
same way.
I don't want to do sales.
It's scary.
For sure. It's not comfortable.
It is.
That's for sure. Walking up to strangers and shoulder tapping them and saying like, hey.
When I was at 24, obviously, you know, it's a commission based job. You get a small hourly wage, but it's not much. You can't be on the clock unless you have clients, basically. So I had 2 other part-time jobs just to kind of make ends meet while I was training, trying to fulfill my dreams. But like you said, back to networking. One thing I always talk about with trainers, even guys ask me questions about things all the time. Yeah, you got to be a good trainer to have a good clientele base. It's about the relationships that you make. If you don't have good relationships with people, they won't come back to you, right? So obviously, you got to be a good trainer. You got to do the right things, help them succeed. But it's about having the relationship that you have with that person.
And that relationship you mentioned too, it's like, man, it's again, like these are all phrases that I think that when we're in school and we're coming up and we're being told like, hey, how to be successful. It's like, you know, we call it the knowing doing gap here. Like you can say you know how to do it, but when it comes to actually doing it, it's like deer in the headlights sometimes.
Yeah.
Right. What did you do to have good relationships?
Just be myself, honestly. Like just talking to people about their day. I think I have a good kind of just on far as having relationships with each person. I'm gonna have a conversation with somebody about sports with this client, the other person talking about their relationship, talking about things you did on the weekend, stuff like that to kind of break the ice, but also kind of make them comfortable. Training is hard for a lot of people, right? A lot of people are kind of uncomfortable, can be scared about things. Breaking the ice to make them comfortable in a space where it's uncomfortable makes it easier for them to kind of keep coming back and everything too. So
do you in that, you know, if you were talking to a person who is new to training, do you recommend casting a wide net? So basically talking to everybody that comes into the gym, or do you try and kind of pinpoint the people where they look like they would?
Do you have like a niche?
The person that's kind of like, you know, the person that goes in the gym and they're kind of like,
So
looking a little lost.
What am I
around.
doing in here? They go a lot of them go get on a treadmill.
Yeah.
Some they don't have to think about what they're doing.
One thing I did when I was at 24, as you know, with Genesis, it was a big gym. So I try to make myself known to everybody. Whether like I didn't want to push training necessarily because I don't want to be that trainer that's, hey, I want your money. I want to be like, hey, what's up, man? My name is Montay. Just got to kind of build a rapport with people. That way, when they come in, they know me. Hey, like, you say what's up. You see that meme maybe. Gym bros see each other one time, hey, what's up? Then you see each other the second time, it's like, oh, what's up, bro? Then it's like keep going from there. You become friends. So it's like that kind of vibe. Like I want you to know me, just not just being a trainer, but saying like I'm your friend, kind of homie.
Was that taught to you, or is that something you just felt
picked
like you
up?
got
Because my
organically?
thing is like one thing I didn't like about trainer or the whole trainer vibe sometimes is being pricey or being pushy on selling prices, selling training. Nobody wants to get like sold to all the time. Wants to like say what's up to somebody. Like I have no problem. I used to do free classes all the time, just to kind of meet people, just kind of break that ice, introduce myself to people, and I like just kind of see how things are going, see how I train. They can kind of if they're interested, they can kind of jump on. If not, they have at least something in the back of their mind to say, hey, maybe I can check out Montay in the future, kind of thing. So
one thing that we learned, both like I said, Joe Quinlan, Northwest Missouri State,
shout out Joe.
is good service. Like you guys, you walk in the S2, we're gonna get good service every time. That's one thing that stands out. But Joe, when we were his interns, there wasn't no sitting down. There was no on your phones. There was no no interaction with the athletes. We were up on our feet. We were engaged. We were loud. We had to be in a face, attention to detail, which a lot of which a lot of trainers are missing nowadays. You go into a lot of gyms, they're not paying attention. You get a trainer that you come in the gym and they just tell you to do something. That's not good service. We want you to come in and we introduce you. We greet you at the door, and we know how to talk to you. We know different personalities because we took that time to get a chance to know you. And like I said, that started at Northwest Missouri State. We built that confidence up to where now we can go out here and now be at our own gym and offer that same type of stuff.
I love that, man. It's people take you as serious as you take yourself.
Yeah. Like you said, being serious, but also being a welcoming environment too.
Right. Right.
There's a phrase we say in our company quite often, and that is just people don't care what you know until they know you care.
Right. Yeah.
And Monty, that goes back to when you're going up to those clients, well, future clients, hopeful, right?
Yeah.
They're just members at the gym.
Yeah.
And if you're not coming at them with a bunch of prices, and you're just like letting them know, hey, I'm here, I'm available. I'm a service that you guys could
I'm
use
a resource.
one day.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly.
And I'll be, and like here's the thing, I love that you said it like that, because I'm a resource. Don't be afraid to ask me a question.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you need me to help you,
say it's $10 to like answer a question.
yeah,
Like, right,
you need a
right.
spot. Yeah, you want to just check out my form real quick. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I know you guys are going to be there for them.
Right. Sure.
But you know what? That person has a network, and that's what just everybody just thinks so short sighted. And so I really want to commend you guys because of it's crazy. We manage so many young people within our company, and you guys say all the right things, but you say them in such a humble, and you just glaze over it like it wasn't that big a deal. But you don't understand how many people wouldn't work 2 side jobs while they're trying to make their dreams come true. They're all just trying to take care of themselves right here in this moment.
Right.
And they don't understand like what it, like, Nick Saban had this quote that I just love, man, from all young people. And it's like, young people today think they have all these choices. But when it comes to being great, it just takes what it takes.
Yeah.
Right.
And they just think that they can just do something else and it's going to be easier. And it's like, man, somebody else is doing that same thing that you're doing, and they're doing it at an easy pace too. You're just going to have to do more than anybody else if you want more than anybody else.
I think one thing that helped me out, I kind of had a vision what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do. A lot of times people kind of go back and forth on things they want to do. You don't have that zero in focus on what you want to get done. Like once I started at 24 and kind of see how I can be successful in this, I'm like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do whatever I had to do to get to that point. Like people say, I didn't have my plan A. My plan B was make my plan A work. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
you burn the boats, if you will.
and this is what I'm going to do one way or another. So it's like I'm going to work the part-time jobs.
What was that thing for you though? What was plan A?
Training. I mean, well, obviously after football it didn't work out. I had bad knees and stuff. Training was like my next step to stay in that same field of like fitness or whatnot. So, like I said, I wanted to kind of keep going. Like so, once I was at 24, then moved to the Superior Fit Body Gym, then to our gym. It's like each day is a new day, new step, kind of new direction.
At what point did you guys transition from saying like, hey, it was a struggle for you to get started to where you could become a full-time trainer to build up that client base, right?
Yeah.
But then after you build that client base, how long before you're like, you know what? Now I want to open up my own gym. That was a totally different vibe, right?
Yeah, it's all about betting on yourself and just taking a chance. If you don't take the leap, you're never gonna know how far you can get.
When in your career did you feel like you had that confidence to do that, Marcus?
I feel like I was ready a couple years ago. Me and Montay, I think I posted it before on Instagram. We talked about getting our own gym probably
right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic.
Yep.
And all of that kind of like tore everything apart, which is okay. God's timing. That's how I put it. So, basically, I was just ready. I just felt like I seen so much of, and this is not a knock towards anybody that I used to work with, anything like that, but I seen the wrong ways of going about stuff. So me learning from other people's mistakes, I wanted to put the right stuff within my business. So I knew it when I got that chance and I got that opportunity that the sky was the limit.
What do you think? Like, name some of those things where you were like, I don't want to do that. Like, what stood out to you as something that you were like, that's a pitfall that I want to avoid?
I always want every client that steps into our gym to be completely themselves. Of course, respect the gym, just like we respect it. Like, we're going to give you good service, like I said, every time you step in there. We're going to give you good energy every time you step in there. No matter what we're going through, we're not going to bring that to the gym. We're going to put a smile on our face. We're going to greet you, and we're going to give you good service, good programming, good information when you ask questions, all that kind of stuff. So,
saying previous gyms were maybe a little cliquey, where it like made certain people feel unwelcome.
Being good people persons and stuff. It's like being, like I said, relatable.
Yeah,
and everything.
Related. So. And I look at this like I always say, like cheating the game. I don't know if you ever heard like a basketball player like he's cheating the game or something like that. I look at a lot of trainers like that because it's like a money play as far as everybody just want to make 100K, be a 100K trainer, but they're missing the little stuff to get there. Everybody wants to look important on Instagram and things like that, but they're missing the little stuff to get there. They're missing the basics and the most important things about building your business, about being relatable, about educating yourself, and all those things. Everything is not for show. And that's why when everything came together for us, it was exciting because I know what both of us are about. And we don't need none of the limelight and the flashy things. We just gonna put our head down and we're gonna work and we're gonna build something strong.
Yep.
And you put all that energy that you're talking about And so I want everybody to understand, like, and you guys again edit where I'm off of, because I'm taking what you're saying and paraphrasing it into how I see it. But you're in a situation where you're taking all of this energy that you could be putting towards, selfish outcomes, which would be like building up your social media.
Right.
You can showcase your clients and so forth, but that's like, we know who that's really for. Right. The client just wants the result. They didn't need the congratulations online. Right. And so it's like you take all that energy and you're putting it into your clients.
Yeah.
Instead of putting it in, all these other things that maybe give you like a selfish outcome.
For a fact.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So one of the things I love is when clients ask questions. I love it because that makes me feel good when a client, they no longer train with me anymore, but they're confident enough to step into a Genesis or a foundation and work out there on their own. I've had clients in the past that become trainers. Like that's a dope thing. You start to ask questions. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? So,
how'd you not take that personal? Another pitfall.
I didn't, man. It was like,
you know what I'm talking about.
But it's like you kind of graduated them to that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Like me, honestly, like I have a lot of long-term clients, but it's like you don't expect everybody to be with you for the long term, right?
Sure. Well, if you're doing
you're doing
a
the right
great
thing,
job,
right?
right?
So,
like,
right?
do
So-
they really need to be with you forever?
Exactly,
Well,
right?
There's I would say there's a couple different types of clients. There's a client that all you're doing is you're building the confidence, you're giving them the knowledge, and they're once they have that, they're like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. Right.
But then you have the other people that are like, I'm just never going to work out consistently unless I have somebody that I can lean on.
Yeah.
And so there are two different types of clients, that you're training.
For sure.
But I don't think one's better than the other. You know what I'm saying? Like
no.
the success that the one has that eventually ends up going to Genesis, you probably feel just as accomplished with that person as you would with the person that ends up being with you for years.
Yeah, like I still have clients from 2014 when I was at 24 Hour Fitness. I train still now.
Yeah.
I joke about it all the time, but obviously I'm a trainer, but I feel like I'm a life coach and therapist too.
Yeah.
Right. I have a lady.
Good trainer.
Yeah, I have a lady that comes in the morning. We kind of just talk. Right. Yeah, we work out about 20 minutes of the hour, but it's like mostly just talking about her day and about her life and her job. It's like she uses me as like a getaway from life sometimes. So that's why I go back to relationships. It's like, yeah, I'm a trainer, but at the same time, it's like we have a bond that allows us to kind of get outside our regular lives and kind of decompress a little bit while we're working out.
These people are looking to us for answers sometimes, and it's okay to just sit and listen. If they're going through something or they had a bad day at work, I'm not going to take it out on you because you had a bad day. Talk to me about it. Mm-hmm. Now we're ready to work out, or
clear their mind, if you will.
Or let's talk, and then I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? Let's talk about what you're going through. And that's what, like I said, that's what kind of separates us, because we do have those relationships with our clients, which is important,
And again, all I'm going back and forth with is there's just a push-pull to everything you guys are saying, okay? There's a different path you could have taken, right?
For sure.
And so often we talk about like what the right things to do are, and then when people get faced with these decisions, the other path that we don't talk about doesn't actually give them, they don't understand that's why not to go down that path, right? So this is a very common thing in the fitness industry, especially when you're training one-on-one clients. You guys are both married men. Has there been a situation where you guys had to draw some boundaries where you have clients that are trying to cross boundaries?
Back in my early days, yeah. People know I'm married now, and most of my clients are friends with my wife, or at least know her. Yeah. So it's not as like nowadays like too like off brand like that, whatever, off track like that. So it's just being professional. Yeah, always being professional. Like I said, if I'm like, when I'm spotting somebody, like I'm putting my hand on your back, just let them know, hey, I'm gonna touch you here, kind of thing like that. Being professional about things. I do measurements with people sometimes, so just kind of saying excuse me when I'm getting certain areas, stuff like that. Just being professional about things, and people appreciate that.
Excuse my reach, all those things. Just it's about your communication, and then also, like you said, being professional. I don't think there's a client that walks in the door that gets that vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is what we're here to do. We're here to work, and I want you to get better. And then nothing else other than that. We're married. We're married men, and most of our clients respect that. Yeah. So,
and also that'll mess your money up as well too.
Well, but that's what we were talking about. Kyle asked the question earlier to you, Marcus. He's like, what were some of those things that you watch people do that you're like, I don't want to do?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro,
that could be one of them.
We're on years. I mean, me and Kyle have over 30 years combined experience in the fitness industry, and it's like, man, we've just seen one trainer fall after another. Yeah. That just could not understand the like, and you said the word perfectly, and it's just straight up professionalism. Yeah. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities to fall to, either temptation
Right.
or unprofessional, any kind of behavior.
Right.
Whether it be, staying late,
Right.
anything that's along the lines of unprofessionalism, that's all you have. Listeners that want to become, longtime trainers, like all you have is your reputation. All you got is your name.
Right.
Yep.
And it takes one of those stories in the fitness industry, no matter what city you're in, I don't care what city it is, the community of the fitness community, everybody knows everybody, and it's a small circle,
It's
and,
really like
and
that,
that word will get around like that.
Right. And just have some self-control, man. It's not that hard, man. It's not that hard.
Because like most of my clientele base right now, I just get referrals as far as my clients referring people to me. And you don't get that if your name is tarnished. They like women don't want to come to you. Like women like already have a hard time in the gym because guys are kind of creeping up on them and whatever, taking pictures of or whatnot. They're not gonna feel comfortable coming to me if I'm like being creepy or whatnot like that. So having your name, your reputation goes a long way to being successful in this business.
Yeah, we don't want a bad rap out there. Everybody thinking that we trying to mess with everybody.
And a lot of our clients are like got husbands and stuff too.
Totally.
So like
Totally.
And we want them to feel comfortable. So if your cousin, if your husband want to come in and work out with you one day just to kind of see the vibe, tell them to come on in. You know what I mean? Tell them to feel comfortable because that's not what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Guys that are married and in happy relationships, they have a smell. Like most women, you know what I'm saying? Like, are not going to try and cross that line.
Right.
Most. It's vice versa too, so it's like, but you always hear of random things that happen in the fitness industry that are like that. And you're just like, what is
So gym closes or the head, whatever, leaves. And well, he was banging clients for 2 years. And you're like, what?
Right.
Oh, he was banging like the owner's wife. You're like, what?
And we're tied in, man. We've been knowing each other since college, and our wives are like this.
Yeah, they best friends more than we are.
They met.
That's cool.
They met because of us. They hang out, talk on the phone every day. But we are the people around Kansas City that we train have respect for both of our wives.
That's so cool, man.
My
And
wife,
you got what, 2 kids, right?
I got 2 babies.
Two babies, and you're married, and so it's just man, what a cool small community you guys got going over there, man.
It's dope. My wife is dope too. So she does a lot of the background stuff, the email marketing, sending emails, the contracts, all that good stuff. So if one of my that's Chelsea right there, Cam and Cairo. If you see any drawn out post on Instagram, she helps me with that. She got a journalist degree. Thank you. Fell right in my lap, man. And so I appreciate all that. So yeah, she's tight knit with the business.
That's very cool, man. That's very cool. You guys are in a cool spot too in Waldo. You guys see all that expansion they're doing? Dude, there's like $100 million redevelopment of Waldo going on. Right?
Oh, really?
Well, good to know.
For real? You don't know?
We didn't know.
Hey, Luke, get on Instagram. Hit up. You can do that. Do Waldo redevelopment. But there's what
area? Like what part?
That 75th and Warnall.
Really? Oh, I know they had the new apartments or new townhomes right there, but
it's all kinds of stuff. Do you see what it's how much money they're putting into it? But bottom line is it's going to be restaurants. It's going to be apartments. It's going to be look at this, dude.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So that's on the corner.
Okay, dope.
And so all the restaurants that they had to close, it's because they're all
by the well and everything,
the bars and all that.
Exactly.
Okay, got you. I remember. Yeah,
so look at the size of this area, dude. It is wild.
Oh, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's over. I just knew it was over 100 million, and I'm just like, dear Lord.
They shut down the well?
It's like, the well is part of the ownership group that's putting in this.
I think they might be get put back in somewhere, but yeah. Wow. That's dope, yeah.
So I'm just saying, what an investment.
$100 million pocket change.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the amount of people it's going to be moving to your
business,
area.
yeah.
Unbelievable for business.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it's like, hey, how long is your lease? I hope you signed a 10-year. Get that rate locked in.
We will.
Eventually.
Get that rate locked in ASAP before they raise it on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's a solid move.
For sure.
So again, the journey for you guys as far as going from getting started at a big box gym, starting off training, figuring out how do I build my client base and so forth. There was a time in which I know I already asked this, Marcus. You said it was about 2 years before you guys decided, when I'm going to go out on my own and be a full-on owner. Yeah. There's so many trainers that, decide it's not worth all the extra headache. And, you already mentioned your wife helping you out with the back end work and stuff.
Right.
what do you do in the sense, or I guess, what have you found once you've gotten into ownership where you were like, damn, I didn't realize it was going to be like this? Where you're like, man, it's so nice to just have a really good facility where you just pay like the monthly number.
Yeah. I think the hardest part for us probably was just the build out. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, I don't think everything else is that complicated.
Did they give you any tenant improvement when you sign your lease?
Say it again.
Did they give you guys any what they call TI dollars when you sign up with your lease?
No.
I always wonder how other businesses do this. So it's like, let's say I sign a lease, right?
Yeah.
Let's say for 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
Right.
Part of the contingency of you signing on that lease, some landlords will give you a chunk of cash to help you with the build out of your business.
Now, what they did, they gave us
It's like price per foot.
It's 2 months basically.
2 months free, basically.
While we did our build out.
Right.
So we didn't have to pay any rent till we got built out and everything.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
And that was the hardest part. But honestly, I had fun with it. I didn't know that I would have satisfaction in building a gym and cutting turf and cutting rubber and painting, but I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, like finding the equipment we're going to get and stuff like that. That's kind of pretty
Dude,
good rush from that.
It's fun, man.
It's
building
when,
of it
when
is
it's
fun,
your
man.
own, man.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know?
Yeah.
When me and Jeff, we built out Overland Park and we hung, all the shelving and, did all the work for it.
All those crooked shelves.
All the crooked shelves. And, it's just fun to do, man, because
kind of
it's like,
placing things around different,
yeah.
like kind of seeing how things will look.
Oh,
and,
you envision
it's just a point of pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you envision,
looks
years and
nice,
years
don't
and years before you guys, cut that turf. You imagine yourself putting that turf in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
You
yeah.
imagine yourself cutting that rubber and putting it in. And so when you finally do it and it's finally yours, you're just literally living out something that you didn't know when you're going to be able to do this in your life, but you knew you wanted to.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because my senior year in college, in undergrad, you do that last capstone class, whatever, and mine was exercise science. So we had to do our projects, like do like a fake business, right? So I did a gym. Just thinking, like, hey, maybe one day I'll be a gym owner, just kind of BSing it, whatever. So I envisioned having turf in my gym, having like athletes coming in, stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy to see what came from that kind of thing. So
Well, it's like you already envisioned it, right?
Yeah.
So it's
it's crazy, yeah.
now you're seeing it in full, you know what I mean? Like in real
like
life.
I still talk about my wife and Marcus. Like, it's crazy. We got our own spot. Like, I still don't believe it. Like,
Because you still feel young too, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
you are.
I
But it's
think
like,
so, a little bit,
but you
yeah.
feel me when I say that? Like, it's
Right.
like in your head when you're a kid, you're like one day,
Right.
Yeah.
and you're like, no, we're really doing it, and you're like, I got my whole life ahead of me.
Like,
you
it's
know?
like I pull up to the gym. It's like, damn,
Right.
this is our spot. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is our spot. So it's like, it's crazy to say that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
And it's us, man. It's private.
yeah,
It's everything we need. Of course, we still gonna add more stuff, and we're gonna continue to get better. But it fits us perfect. I feel like.
Yeah, dude. I this is a fun share because I'm sure you guys have already had this happen. So I want to hear yours. We were once Kyle and I, and it was July 4th of 2017. We were at the riverfront where the new stadium is, the girls' soccer stadium's going at the riverfront, and they were doing the fireworks display down there. And it was the first time that me and Kyle had saw somebody wearing a Supplement Superstores t-shirt in the wild, right? Yeah. That like for sure came from us.
yeah.
As in like we gave him that. And that guy is like a fan of S2 because of our store.
It's like a reality check.
Which was crazy. Well, we'd already been giving out these shirts, right, for 10 years.
Yeah.
And we had seen 1 million of them. You know what I mean? We'd seen 1 million S2
I got
shirts.
about 10 of them too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it doesn't seem like it's that big a deal, but for whatever reason, man, we had to like go tap him on the shoulder and take a picture with him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was like the first time ever it was ours. You know what I mean? So it's cool. You guys
dope.
had any elevated fitness gear in the wild yet?
That's in it coming, man. That's one thing our next plan of action. That's one we've been talking about doing. Like,
You got some merch?
It's the fashion guru right here, so
Yeah.
you're gonna have to.
You guys are both wearing Nike hoodies. I don't know. You're
You know
giving
what
them a lot
I'm
of credit.
It's
that's
about
like,
that time.
Yeah, it's like next in the works. So like hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely in the works
We got a great merch guy if you want to let us know.
for sure. Yeah, we might
So
have
we
this
make
contact.
a lot of shirts.
Yeah.
So.
Going back to, you said, putting turf in your gym, for athletes. You guys train UFC fighters currently, correct?
Yep.
Or you do, right?
Marcus does,
yeah.
Yeah. How's that going, man? Like,
it's-
what's the difference between training a guy who fights in the UFC versus like the
Man.
training you guys did when it came to football?
It's like, man, I feel like I turned into a different person. It's like
Have
he
they
was
ever
in there
tried to
yesterday.
fight you?
Yeah.
I mean, you're freaking stout.
Nah,
You
they
probably-
so my client Mike, he always asked me, you should come down there and grapple, man. You'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's 2:30, man. You'll be fun. I'm like, man, Mike, I don't want no problems, man. Keep
Yeah.
that over there. But I enjoy it, man. I turn into a different trainer.
Yeah.
It's a difference between training a woman or an average everyday person. These guys, the energy.
Yeah.
They work out 2-3 times a day. I'm most of the time I'm their second workout of the day. So I need to bring that energy. They're already tired. They've been fighting already this morning. So I have to make sure I'm programming properly. And like I said, good energy, good music, and making sure I'm taking care of their body properly, man. But I enjoy it. Strength and conditioning is the main thing that I'm interested in. So to have that opportunity, I've trained football players in the past. My cousin played at K-State. Now he transferred to Illinois State, so training him, stuff is just fun. It just brings a new life. You know?
I think that makes us stand out more because we're versatile. I mean, I can train anybody. We can train anybody from a 15-year-old basketball, football player or whatever to a 75-year-old lady with a bad knee.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody in between. Like, that's what things that kind of sets us apart. We don't have a specific niche. We can go both ways. Like I said, we can turn the intensity up if we need to, or we can back it down if we need to as well. So,
another question on this. When you're training a UFC fighter, do you guys sit down with them and you say, all right, our goal here, like your last fight, you kind of gassed out in round 3, so we're going to work on aerobic capacity for the next, 3 or 4 months, or, hey man, you got your ass tossed in the last, you need to get stronger. You need to get a better base about you. We're going to do a lot of, we're going to do squat
fix your balance
or something like that.
So man, it's always exciting, man. I like to sit down, and I still write in my booklet. I don't like to type on my phone too much. I'll write different ideas down, but I took a football approach to both guys, and I kind of talked to them about that and how certain football stuff that I know, that I've learned, my certifications in school and all that, how I transitioned to UFC, and constantly being in communication with these guys and what they need from me as well. One thing I noticed from both fighters is how those shoulders are tight. They in this position so much to where they don't have no good mobility. So we stress that the first 20, 25 minutes, that's all we're doing. We're taking care of their body, making sure that they are better than the next fight. The legs are stronger. A lot of UFC guys, there's probably some outside of Kansas City that are real gym goers that work on their lower half, their posterior, your glutes are strong and all that kind of stuff. But I emphasize that. And I kind of explain to these guys when it comes to, you stuck on the ground, you need to hip toss somebody off you. This is how you need to do that. This is gonna get you to that next point. So I enjoy that whole process, man. It's super fun.
That is
super
cool,
fun.
Man.
Yep.
Their explosiveness, it looks like, that football translates really well, it seems like.
So giving them the best of both worlds, and as well, I'm learning UFC. So I study these guys. That's Miles, and my other guy, Mike. I watch their fights, and I can pinpoint different weaknesses that they might have and where they can utilize the gym in. So it is super fun, man.
What MMA gym do they train out of?
I can't remember the name.
We got like Glory, which now is not named that. So Marathon.
Yeah, I forgot the name. They always talk about it though.
I'm wondering who is going to be the next, Glory had all the best fighters in Kansas City for a while.
Where's that located at?
There was one in Lee Summit, one in Overland Park, one up north.
Marathon is
Marathon.
It's what Glory was.
Right.
Okay.
And so after that, Fiasco went down there, but they're I was wondering who would step in, you know what I'm saying? So it sounds like the same guys, just
Probably
different name.
so. Yeah, and these guys are wired different, man. I don't know.
You gotta be a little crazy to be an MMA fighter, man. You gotta be crazy.
Something kind of, I don't know, man.
When it's their full-time gig, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, he was there yesterday when I was training one of them, and he's like, dang, you taking a beating over there.
For sure.
He do wall toss, ball.
Ball tosses,
And we got next door neighbors, so I try to keep it kind of calm. So I'm the wall today. I'm taking the beat. Hey, dude, you got to get the work in.
It's fun to but I'm sure it's a lot. It seems like it'd be a lot of fun to try.
I enjoy it.
It's fun to mix it up a little bit.
So you're letting a UFC fighter just toss a ball into your stomach.
Yes, it was full-fledged.
Catching it, though. Hey, listen, we got to do what we got to do.
You're like, dude, that was a tight end.
He needed an umpire suit on low-key.
Right.
Yeah, something like that.
Right.
So.
It's funny.
You had, you're not going to ever admit that there's be like one you don't like or whatever, but when it comes to all the different types of clients that you will have, if you could grow one segment, what would that segment be for you, Montay? And then
to add more of?
Yeah, like what type of client are you really hoping to grow? What segment of your business are you trying to grow there?
I've been really trying to attack the middle age group, that 40 to 65, well, maybe middle to senior citizen kind of group. Really kind of attacking that. I know just like a lot of people, they have questions about things. Like that age group doesn't work out a lot sometimes, so they have questions about things and they're not kind of certain about being in the gym. So I'm trying to attack that to where they get more comfortable being in the gym, and like I said, trying to help them extend their lives and have a good life, not being sediment too much as far as sitting down all day, like working and just going home kind of thing. Stay active and kind of keep extending their lives and stuff. So
That's cool, man.
yep.
Health span, man.
Yeah,
Just
health,
you know, a lot of times people get later in life and they get to a point where they're alive but they're not living.
Yeah.
You know, because they're
So many
basically
limits.
deconditioned to the point where they can't do a lot of things, like
Yeah.
going, you know, traveling through an airport's a big
Yeah,
deal for
right.
them because they have to carry their luggage. You
Dude,
know?
yeah. I had a
That's
buddy-
a good point. That's a good point because I went to Germany for the Chiefs game. My brother lives in Germany, so I took my dad with me and my cousins. My dad has a bad hip, so I told him we're not going on this trip if you don't work out.
Yeah.
So I had him working out for like 8 months. He lost about 35 pounds.
That's
or
awesome.
Oh
so.
yeah, dude.
So I'm like, I'm not taking you on this trip and worry about you in the airport because that airport, it's a long walk in the airport.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
So I'm like, unless you can do a 2-mile walk on the track or whatever, treadmill, we're not doing this trip. So he did it, and he got the job done.
I had a buddy who's around 40 years old, and he was talking to me about how he's like, I had to go buy special shoes and train just so we could go to Disney World with his kids.
Yeah.
Because just walking Disney
a lot of
World
walking,
was so
yeah.
much pain for him. I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
We got to do something about that.
The gym is a fountain of youth. I tell people all the time, the gym's a fountain of youth. So,
You're right about that. Marcus, training segment or a segment of your business that you want to grow?
For me, it's got to be sports performance. Like I got excited just talking to you guys about the MMA guys, you know. And my wife, she always asks me, she presses me so much, but sometimes it's irritating, but I actually love it because she's like, what do you truly love? What do you really love doing? What did you love when you was a kid? What did you love doing? You no longer play football. What do you love? I'm like, sports, but I don't want to coach. So this is what I went to school for. This is what I like to do. And like I said, it gives me new life to be able to do sports performance.
Maximize performance. You know what I'm saying? Get the best out of
Right,
people.
exactly. The energy's there. And actually, what we're working on right now, me and my wife, we're gonna be bringing it to the gym pretty soon. It's group training, and it's gonna be called For the Athletes. So the group training is gonna be for any former athlete, like at the collegiate level, maybe even high school. I haven't decided totally yet, but it's gonna be to where you have that team environment. You coming in and you competing and you having fun, like you're in the strength conditioning program. And just kind of change.
You're going to have to be walking around yelling at people.
Yeah,
this is how
I
my
love it.
college coach
Yeah.
was. Just,
yeah.
Yep.
Get your ass in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Like in that environment, yeah.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
like, you know, we could be chill right here, but when I'm in that mode, I'm in that mode, and I love it, you know. So that's the things that I get excited about.
It is one of those things when you get done playing sports, a lot of people are just kind of, they get done and then they look around, they're like, you know, what do I do now?
Right.
My group is gone.
Yeah,
you
I have a
know?
lot of former teammates either gained a lot of weight or got real
Lost.
skinny. So it's like got to find that
Yeah.
middle ground a little
And
bit.
all our former teammates, man, some of the guys I didn't even know lived in KC no more. We got the gym and people stopping by like excited. I'm like, I didn't know you was here. Why not put something together for these guys? You know what I mean? It'll be a nice thing for us to all be in the same environment again, like old times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. The big thing, you know, post being on a team like that, you know, you see a lot of people like dip into like depression, or they feel like lost and they don't know, you know, where to turn to. And, you know, I think that having any kind of, you know, group like that where you can kind of get people together and basically recreate that environment, the college weight room environment, which is like one of the most electric environments.
It is.
You know,
It is.
So I was listening to the Pivot, Ryan Clark's podcast.
Yeah.
He had said like something that kind of resonated with me. Like athletes go through 2 deaths. Obviously your end of life death, but your end of playing
Your
career.
playing career.
Right.
And it's like it's a big thing. People go through depression. I mean, for me it wasn't as bad because I stopped playing because I had a bad knee surgery. So I kind of knew I couldn't play anymore. But for guys who stopped playing just because you didn't go to the next level,
Yeah, opportunities kind of dried up.
that's depressing.
I'm a testament to that too, man. I dealt with a little bit of stress because of that too. Having the opportunity and having different looks and tryouts and not knowing what to do after football.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang, that's all I know. That's what
you're doing.
That's
from
why I'm at Northwest.
age 6 and 7.
Your
isn't it
military
weird?
is very similar, right? It becomes your identity.
Right.
right? And so the transition afterwards is like, not a lot of people talk about it, and you hear it, but you're like, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
You're
but
a little lost.
you don't realize like there is no clear path.
It's
The
tough.
first Saturday of football season after the year after you're done playing is so weird. You're just like,
What I do
damn, this
now,
is this is strange.
It
you
is,
know?
man.
Yeah.
It's hard to even watch. You're like, man, I miss it, man. But now what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do to have fun? This is all I know.
But if you don't like, find a group and find purpose outside of sports, then you become the person that's, 45 years old and they're talking about, like
exactly.
High school days,
every single conversation circles back to,
Yeah.
because it's like the last thing that they can be proud of, that they had a lot of purpose in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sad, man. And it's like you watch it happen, you watch it unfold, and it's like,
Yeah.
man, how do we make that dent, I guess a dent in that, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
you still 20, 30 years old. You got a long life to live outside of that. So you got to find something.
You
for
start
the
playing,
athlete class,
you start playing
That's right.
pickleball.
FTA.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
FTA. Yes, sir.
Like, meet me on the pickleball court.
For sure.
Yeah,
Freaking
it's like having a community, man.
Yeah.
And it don't always have to be workouts. Some people can talk. Sometimes we need to talk to each other, bro.
Yeah.
We don't have all the answers. We don't have all the resources. So it might be a chance to where a former teammate or a former classmate may know somebody that you don't know and might put you in position to be successful. And now you're taking off. So we need to have those kind of environments that we could talk, and people don't have to be by themselves and stuck in their thoughts and not knowing what to do and taking the next steps in their career or whatever the case may be. So I think that's important too.
I agree.
Men for sure.
Yeah.
Men for sure.
Yeah, we need to talk more for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's not a big thing we do. I try to do more than somebody who doesn't or who doesn't. So it's like it's put more effort into talking about things a little bit more.
Yeah, man. There's a gym I go to every Thursday morning. We have a men's group, and just having that room where it's just completely quiet, just all dudes facing each other, and everybody has a chance to voice something that they're going through, whatever.
Yeah.
And creates an environment. It's like at first I'd never done something like that before, and first couple times I went there, man, it was a little apprehensive, a little hesitant. It's just not in my nature, etc. And fast forward like 3-4 months, we got like 10 more people in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And forming a real strong bond with some of the people in there, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
I think as important as that, you got to have a group of guys that you can talk shit to,
Right,
and, like
exactly.
compete with, and like banter like dudes do.
Yeah.
Because that's like what college
You need a
football.
guy.
That's what football or sports is in general. Is like, you're getting introduced to people that you didn't grow up with. You know, if you're going to play in college, and you're competing with them a little bit, and through that competition, you're forming like a
Brothers.
brotherhood type thing.
Full like melting pot.
Like I was
in there.
saying, with our teammates stopping in, it's just like old times. Our guy Rod came in last week, and it's just like we shooting shit just like
I haven't seen him
old
about
times.
2 or 3 years, but it's like nothing
Yeah,
changed.
like,
So
man, nothing changed. We
Yeah.
still laughing, joking, talking. So that's what you need sometimes, man.
you gotta have a good guys night out. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
Sometimes
You don't realize how much you miss that environment until you get around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Especially when you got the 2 kiddos at home.
exactly, hard work, man. Hard
Yeah,
work.
man.
Dude,
You guys,
the new gym with 2 kids. Oof,
Yeah, it was. I was kind of nervous at first.
it's a
man,
new season of
because-
life.
Yeah, I had my baby was due a month later. Yeah, so we opened up in March. So he was due a month later, man. And I was just like, man, am I making the right decision? Oh snap, what's going on? But it was just like, it was too good to be true. It was like God was just kind of like, here,
Yeah.
it's time. Me and Montay got back together at Superior at the right time.
Yeah.
And now everything unfolded how it unfolded, and it was just like God was just like, take it,
Yeah.
whatever. Just stop asking questions, go.
When you have a kid too, and you look at them, you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna take care of you. I'll figure it out. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Right.
there's a feeling that you have where you're just like, I'll figure it out. No matter what, I'll figure it out. We were when I had my first kid, we were about to open our second store, and we basically YOLO'd every bit of money we
were
had.
3 months into business, and that's when him and his wife got pregnant.
We YOLO'd
3
like
months in, and he was
every
like,
bit of
"We're gonna
money.
work every single day, open to close for 2 years straight."
Hey,
That became like a,
do what you got to do.
all right, I'm gonna not be able to do that in like 6 months.
Yeah.
But we took like every bit of money that we had saved to open our second store. No. We had opened our second store. This was Olathe when we opened Olathe, so it's our third store.
Right.
We freaking dumped all of our money into that, and we had like no money at the time, no cushion. You guys know what that's like in business, where you just basically feel like, hopefully
Every dollar matters.
Every dollar matters,
Yeah.
and And then, I had my first kid, and, like I said, it was a stressful time, but like as soon as you have a kid, you kind of just realize like, I'll figure this out.
Find a way.
You're gonna appreciate it, man. It's about leaving a legacy, man. I love bringing my son to the gym when it's not busy, man. And he works there too.
Yeah.
If he was here right now, you like, Cam, where you work at? He was like, at the gym?
Yeah.
At my gym? Yeah. So it's exciting, man, just for them to experience something new. Like I never grew up around family with business. Everybody was just working jobs and things like that. So for a kid to be able to see that and have a different avenue, a different path.
Yeah.
Well, think about what you're doing, to their perspective on life.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to be, there's a lot of just options that I can take.
You can do what you love without having to sacrifice too much.
For sure.
Exactly. Whatever. So
For sure.
Just to change gears real quick, you guys mentioned Joe Quinlan. He's your strength and conditioning coach up at Northwest.
yes, sir.
Right. Is there some local trainers or maybe somebody that we've heard of or know of that maybe inspired you guys a little bit? Is there anybody else that you look to for guidance when it comes to the training business?
I know before Gary Taylor, rest in peace, Gary Taylor. He passed away a couple years ago, but he was one guy that we both kind of looked up to for training. We were both in school. Actually, he trained us when we were in our off season for football and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the first guys we actually saw step out into the training business, and probably one of the first guys in Kansas City that's in the inner city that stepped out and training. He had Powerhouse
KC.
Powerhouse KC. Yeah.
Yep.
So
he
Gary Taylor?
Yeah.
He passed away. Yeah. So he's both pretty good good standard in our lives. So
How'd he pass?
It was shot.
Damn.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah. So I grew up with him. Like I said, he never asked for nothing. Didn't ask for $1. Just he wanted to see us get better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Well, I mean, dude, that's got to be where you guys' selflessness comes from. Yeah. Or, like the thing that you said at the very beginning of this, where you're like caring about people's results before anything else. Yeah.
Right. That was second nature. Like that was the thing, and you didn't have to like remind yourself ever of that. Right. That's the crazy part. Like you don't understand how that's hard to find.
That's not a natural thing to feel, and you have to have strong influences in your life that are like stimulating you to like understand. You have to have been demonstrated that in your own life to like value that when you start working. You know what I'm saying?
Because one thing when I graduated school in Northwest, my undergrad, I knew I was a good trainer. I didn't know how to be a good salesman. Right. So that's one thing I had to learn along the way. And I had an opportunity to be at a gym or my own gym at the time, but like my dad was like, no, go ahead and go to 24 to learn the system, how to do things.
Correct.
And everything, do it the right way.
Great advice.
I know, right? So if I'd have did, like I said, having different avenues we talked about earlier, if I'd have did the other route, I'm not sure I'd be here right now.
Right.
Maybe I'd be doing another job because I failed at that point. So learning how to be a good salesman and being a good trainer can be two different things at the same time. You got to be able to have good business, you got to be able to do both. And so
besides Joe, Gary was one of the first people to tell me like, I'm good at this. You know what I mean? He threw me into the fire. Yeah. Like, threw me in the fire. You know what you're doing. Throw me in the fire. And slowly I built that confidence. You know what I mean? So to mention his name, it's I think he deserves his flowers.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's not a day that goes by that I don't think of him.
He's a big influence on both of our lives. Yep.
One thing my wife told me, we were sitting in the gym, and she was just looking around. She said, "Damn." She said, "Gary, you'd be proud." You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man.
Dude, the first person, that comes in your life that kind of gives you the kick in the ass and says you can do this. Yeah. Like they always hold a pretty high spot. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's got a little bit of imposter syndrome, right? Everybody's got a little shred of that in them. Right. And when, there's something that's, it's so empowering along the way of your journey where you're like, man, I can really do this. I can really do this. And then someone taps you on the shoulder that you respect and they say like, no. Like you can be the best at this.
Right. You need those affirmations. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to tell you, hey, you can do this. Right. Like my dad was the same way. Like my dad helped us like get this going a little bit. So it's like, he saw the vision we both had. Right. So like, it's hard to do it on your own. You need a good group, a village of people to get you going.
There's this. I feel like there's this connotation right now in society that, for you to want to make more money or you want to grow, and you were talking about sales. Yeah. All these things are like a negative thing, and it's like, well, no. Like if the intent is off, then right. Yeah. Like
if you're doing it just for money, then it's
yeah.
not
You
the right,
you remember
not
the
the right
bad
business.
you remember the bad salesperson
Right,
that you
yeah.
had, which is why you don't. You're like, I don't want to be in sales. Like so many people get out of school and they're like, oh, I don't want to be anything salesy. It's like, well, no, man. The right people, the people that do sales in a good way are the ones that are just the most helpful.
Exactly.
They
Bro.
help people the best.
Yeah, we
It's not about sales. It's not
Yeah.
about the dollars. It's about who can actually deliver the best results.
Exactly.
we are in the perfect industry for that, because there's plenty of industries out there that the salespeople suck. They don't believe in what they're selling, and all they're trying to do is shove as much stuff down your throat
Exactly.
as you
You
can.
can tell. You can tell.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
always gotta
fitness
smell.
industry, you can't do that.
You can't.
You know what
BS
I'm
it.
saying?
Can't
You
BS
can't do it. It's the more that you sell, the more that you help people, the more or the more that you help people, the more that you sell, because people see that you help people.
Right.
Those people talk to other people,
Exactly.
and they continue down the road of like, you got to talk to this trainer. You got to go into supplement superstores. They're great people.
Like I said, probably 80% of my new sales come from referrals.
Yeah.
Because I have a pretty good clientele base. I really don't have much space to add new people, so I'm not really like promoting as much as I should be promoting, because I don't want to fill up the space too much. So I just kind of rely on the referrals of people like, hey, I got a cousin that wants to come talk to you. I got a friend that, so it's like that's basically my business right there in itself.
This brings up the next question is, so do you guys don't have any employees currently?
No, just us.
So when's if your schedule's full, brother?
It's
Yeah, I know, right?
It's
About that time.
That's time to grow the gym.
About that time.
That's one thing I talked
my
to
wife-
him about when we
yeah.
first got it. I said, man, we trainers.
Yeah.
How can we become bosses next?
Exactly, yeah.
Because we got the opportunity of a lifetime. And I look at the gym as not that we've made it, but it's another milestone. It's another step. It's another step to where we can go. And we could take this to even newer heights, and we can add different stuff, because when we come together, we gonna be more powerful. Basically.
Yeah.
So the sky's the limit for that, and that's why I say that we haven't even scratched the surface yet, because we have plenty of opportunity to do a lot of stuff in Kansas City.
Do you guys offer general membership, or is it always training?
Not yet. That's the plan in the future. But right now, just training and probably do group classes here soon as well too. So
Yeah, the thing I want to harp on one more thing, and that is when we're talking about sales, we're talking about growth and money and this and that. It's like, there's like that part of that imposter syndrome we were talking about. I think so many professionals limit themselves on what they're capable of, because they don't want to put themselves out there and be like, I want to grow even further, right? Like you guys might say like, I never want to grow past where we're at, because I don't want to I don't want the experience to suffer, or the name Elevated Fitness get watered down.
yeah,
But if you guys have these standards that you guys already have them. They may not be written down somewhere, right? But you have these values as a company that you're already, hey, we give good service. Everybody's going to feel comfortable. We train anybody and everybody. All these things, it's like, we know that that's not the environment everywhere else.
Right.
So are we actually doing our community a disservice by not offering it to more people?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
And so, we had to give ourselves that same kind of kick in the ass, as far as like, we're getting ready to open up a new market in a month or so. And we, it took us a long time to think, hey, we're capable of growing this outside of Kansas City. But it's like, don't you think the community and the service that we give would be better if we went somewhere else too? Like, don't you think they need that too?
Yeah.
They do.
Like I said, it goes back to kind of being, it can be a scary thing to change. So it's like you gotta put your ducks in a row and kind of see what comes from it a little bit. Kind of have a smart game plan about things.
My theory is you got to just keep the thing, like the main thing,
yeah.
right? And so it's like, hey, if you're growing because you just want to make more money, well, then now it's not going to, you've just ruined what you've started, right?
Yeah.
If you just keep it about, hey, we want to spread this message to more people because we think that this community is needed elsewhere,
Right.
then we can grow. We can obviously make a giant impact on a community at the same time.
Right.
True.
Especially in Kansas City. Kansas City needs it. We need to catch up with the Texas and the California, the Floridas. We're not there on the fitness scene yet. And I think there's, like I said, I think there's just a lot of the wrong things going on, like we talked about earlier, which I think that's not truly authentic within fitness.
Yeah.
And
it's about all social media and stuff.
we're in a place now. Of course, you still need social media to a certain degree, but we're at a place now to where we can kind of put our stamp on. I forgot what I'm trying to say, but
On the community.
on the community,
Yeah, on the fitness industry as a whole.
and make a
you know?
difference. Because like we from here, we from Kansas City.
Yep.
I went to Center High School. He went to Lincoln. We went to inner city schools and all that family. We here. You know what I mean? And people are looking for good people to work with, and they're looking for good quality service and people that's knowledgeable. And why not build that here?
And dude, and professional,
Right.
Exactly.
and people that have the right mindset. Like
Right.
I got to give you guys so much credit on not having this scarcity mindset. You know what I'm saying? You see other people, opening up gyms or clients becoming trainers and
Right.
charging.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's so easy to say, what the heck, and have a bad attitude
But I
about
mean-
that. And so having that scarcity mindset, but you guys live in abundance and you think in abundance. And so you're going to continue to get that back
Yeah.
because of how you guys operate. And so I just, thank you guys for being such a positive influence in our fitness community.
Appreciate
It's hard
it.
to
Thank
find.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, man.
Sir.
Did you have another one?
I was just gonna say, most important question that we have of the podcast.
It indeed is.
2 KC natives that we are sitting across from. What are the best places to get barbecue in all of Kansas?
You guys get one pick.
See, I might be off here. I love Char Bar.
What, dude, hey, we love Char Bar.
I love Char Bar too, dude.
I love Char Bar. That's me and my wife's
the
favorite
burnt
spot.
hell sandwich.
I get
So good.
the Holy Trinity.
Oh yeah.
That's so fire to me.
That's 3 different types of meats on it,
Yep.
right? Is it brisket?
So I get
burn
the
ends?
brisket, burn ends, and I get the ribs. So fire. They can be better on the beans. Beans aren't the best, but everything else is fire.
Sides is like a whole nother category.
Yeah.
I feel like Char Bar is the like you
sleeper
if you know
pick.
if you know.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
It's low key. Like when I first, like my wife went there for a company trip one day. She's like, "Hey, let's go to this spot." I'm like, "This spot?" Like I go by it all the time in Westport, whatever.
Yeah.
Go by it all the time, but it's like, okay, we'll try it out. Then I'm like, "Oh shit."
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. What do you think?
I'm a Jack Stack guy.
Yeah.
I got to go with the Fire Kiss wings and the beans. Dip the wing in the beans.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
we
I
haven't
haven't tried
tried
that.
that.
dude.
Yeah.
It's fire.
Yeah.
Tell me.
The fire kissed wings have had probably 20 mentions
Man.
on this podcast.
Bro, we always,
Yeah.
me and him love
Dude, we
wings, so we're
love-
always like,
Yeah.
if somebody says Jack Stack and they haven't tried the wings, we're like, try the wings.
We think
try to
the
see
wings
it.
are
That's all you
awesome.
need.
Yeah.
if you're going for like a naked wing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Jack Stack and I think in on another sleep, chicken and pickles wings.
Oh yeah, they're
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
good. I've had them.
Some of
Yeah.
the best wings
Yeah.
in Kansas City.
What's that place on? They have the real big wings.
Oh,
Peanut.
yeah, peanut.
Yeah,
They give you the
Yeah,
flapper on there.
yeah.
The random.
Yeah,
Flapper.
That's what they call it.
huge wings are huge.
I used to work at Hooters, dude. They call them drummies and flappers.
I think the Peanuts is known for their homemade blue cheese.
I was a
never-
busboy at
yeah.
Hooters, dog. You
That's
didn't know
crazy.
that? Hey, what?
He's
tell
a
me what-
16-year-old
Yeah,
Tell me what
yeah.
16-year-old. Tell me what
He's
16-year-old.
like,
boy-
I don't, dude, listen, I just needed a job.
You needed a
What do
job,
you
huh?
want to
Anywhere,
say?
huh?
So my dad and my cousin took me and my sister. I think we were kids. Me and my sister and somebody else. They took us there for Father's Day one year.
Hey,
It was
They're
his-
like,
it was
hey,
his
listen,
present, huh?
this is for me. This isn't for you
it
guys.
wasn't about you,
I'm like
but
7. Like, where the hell we at, man? What's going on?
and weirdly, you were psyched about it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what this place is, but I like it.
Yeah,
When I was in 6th grade, I went and I got a T-shirt, and I was like, I felt like the coolest kid ever getting away with a
Straight
T-shirt
up.
to school.
Like, this
Man.
isn't Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah,
So
dude.
work
I graduated from Chuck E. Cheese that day.
I might have to go get Jack Stack today now that we talked about it.
thinking about it too much now.
Dude, they give you that smoked jalapeno with it too. I eat that whole thing
I think
too.
I ate about 40 wings. Like the day after my first show, I probably ate 40 wings.
Are you starving? Yeah.
Man, oh my God.
Yeah,
Jack
the
Stack.
wings are so
Uh,
good.
Killer, man.
So
Killer.
good.
Hey, we
Well,
really,
cool.
we're really happy for you guys. We genuinely
Appreciate it.
appreciate you taking the time to come sit down with us.
Yeah.
Tell
And,
everybody where they can find you guys,
yeah.
like social media and everything.
Yep. Mine is 89, so it's 8 spelled out, the underscore N 9NE is my college number from football.
Yep, and mine's is Wright System Fit on Instagram. You can also reach us at Elevated Fitness KC on Instagram. We're located at 8419 Warnell, Elevated Fitness KC. See the 2 mountains with the barbell? That's us.
Dope, man.
Private gym.
Very cool, man.
Yep.
Very
Congrats to
cool.
you guys.
Congrats
Appreciate
to you guys.
you.
Appreciate you,
Congrats.
folks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.